Welcome to Papa's Workshop. Today when I turned on the computer and opened Lightburn, I got a pleasant surprise. There's a new update there. It's version 1.2. Well, I went ahead and downloaded it and got it all set up and started looking at the changes. Now, I haven't had the opportunity to see all the different changes, but there are some real exciting changes that have taken place. I want to show you just a few of them today. So let's go ahead and get started on that. One of the first things that I want to point out to you, anytime you get a new update, go and look at the documentation, see what's new, because it will highlight the different features that they've added and be able to change. Because there's some things in there that not there anymore because they moved it and they added some very nice features. The good thing about Lightburn, they don't take things away. They will always add features. They may move some things around to make it better also. And that's what I'm finding in this latest version. I went ahead and downloaded the version 1.2, so you see that in place. First thing I noticed is there's a new section up here, and when I click on this, it brings you up to rotary setup. So I want to close it, and then I want to come back over here, and you'll notice it's no longer in this area. So they put it up here on the toolbar so that you can make all of your changes right here. The other thing that I noticed when I enable this and hit OK, you have the little indicator down here that the rotary is enabled. I don't recall seeing that on the previous versions, so tell me if I'm wrong on that. Also, you have a print and cut wizard, and I haven't played with this yet, so this is going to be interesting, and that's a new feature. So I'm going to go ahead and close that. When I click on the file, I see something new down here. Now, we had a print icon before, but if I recall, it was only black. Now you have an option to be able to keep the colors. So if you have a multicolored project, you'll be able to print this out and show it to your customers in color. That is going to be nice. Whenever you download the new version, I always like to click on Help and take a look at the actual documentation. So this is the online documentation here, and this will bring you to the lightburn.com site so that you can actually see the changes. I want to point this out to you. It says, welcome to the Lightburn docs, and they're a bit of the work in progress, so pardon our mess. So they're making some changes to this. I have a feeling, I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling they're going to add some sections in there to be able to specifically identify what's new. And the first thing that comes up is the Galvo settings. So you're actually going to be able to use the Galvo laser with the Lightburn. So that is a nice feature too. The next feature I want to talk about is over on the Cuts and Layers. I want to go over to the Cuts and Layers tab because there's a new section there also. We'll click on that. So let's go ahead and bring an object in so we can take a look at it. I think I'm going to bring, let's just grab a square. We'll put that in. We'll come back to the selection mode. And here's the information on the fill. So we open this up, you see line, fill, offset fill. You don't see a fill and line. Now you think, did they get away from that and not use it anymore? Actually, not at all. Let's go ahead and open up the window. You have a new tab up here. And this actually gives you sub layers. And what does that mean? It means you can add, in essence, layers within the layer. So if I have this set for fill, and I'm going to do this at 3,000 millimeters per minute at 40% power and in a fill mode, that's how it's going to be, and it's going to go back and forth just like normal. And if I preview that, well, let me show you what that's going to look like. So let's preview it. And that's what you would expect to see. Just like that. All right, let's change this now. Let's go back and let's add a second layer. So you come right over here, or I should say, let's add a sub layer. And if we come right here, we can do this additional one. And for an example, we're going to do this as a fill again. Let's change the power setting. Let's just say that we're going to make this at 3,000 and we'll make this at 50. Doesn't really matter because I just want to show you the process of these different layers. We'll do this as a fill also, but let's change this. Let's rotate this, let's say 45 degrees. And we'll still just do one pass for our test purposes. We'll hit OK. Now let's preview it. Let's reset this back. And so now we come up here just like we did before. And now look at what it's doing. It's doing that 45-degree angle like a crosshatch coming right back on top of that first layer. Isn't that just outstanding? We don't need to have multiple layers over here anymore. We can do it right here in this section. All right, so let's close this out. Let's go back one more time. And you also see this changed to a multi. So that's multiple layers. Let's say we want to cut this out. So let's go over here and add a third one. We're going to make this a line. And let's just make this the cutout. There we go. And this time, let's drop the speed down to, let's say, 500. And we'll change the power to 100% power. And number of passes will be 1. That looks fine. So let's just hit OK. Now when we do the preview, let's see what we get. Let's reset this back. And now you see it starting just as it did before. Now it's doing the 45 degree. So that's making its way all the way up to the top. And now let's see what it does. Now you can see that it's actually cutting. Isn't that just amazing? Talking about keeping things organized, that really helps to keep things organized completely. You can put everything on one layer and have sub-layers. So let's stop this now because we got the idea. Now, a lot of you know that I will actually frame the item at a very, very low power setting. So can I do that? So let's say that I just got this square, but I want to be able to put in another layer. And let's say that's just, for the sake of argument, the size of my item. And let's put this on a toolpath layer. So there it is. So can you do that? Here it is. There's my toolpath layer. It's going to frame. It's not going to output. And now I can actually frame this using this feature. So instead of having multiple layers all the way down, I have two. I have this layer with a multiple layers within it, and then I have a toolpath layer. This, guys, is a game changer. So I can't wait to be able to explore more and more about all the changes. Go back to the selection tool, and we're just going to delete everything from now. And I want to take a look at the rotary. I think the graphic representation here is excellent because now when you check the chuck, it actually shows a chuck situation. If you want to have the roller, then it actually shows the roller. That's more intuitive of what is representative when it actually comes to the machine. You also have this feature right here where you can mirror the image. Rather than mirroring the image out here, you can mirror the image in the settings. As far as the rest of this information, it's pretty much the same as it was before. I don't recall a test. There may have been a test feature there. So you're going to tell me in the comments that there was a test feature. But this is nice. I love having it up here on the toolbar. I want to take a look at this area up here for just a moment. Let's go over to the art library, and koshers is fine. Let's just bring this one in. So here's my image right here. So what does this actually do? It has this turned on, move as a group, and the lock inner objects. I'm going to scroll out so that I can see the whole screen. And then let's just click on this. So this actually moves everything as a group to this outer edge. Let's click on this one. It'll move it to the other edge. We'll do down here, and we'll click this one. So now that actually can position this in the bottom left-hand corner. So that's a nice feature that I hadn't considered before. So now I don't have to worry about taking and manually moving it down here and trying to position it. All I need to do is use this function up here, and I can do that. Look at that. I can move it really anywhere that I want and then place it right there in the home position if that's the desired location. So guys, if you can't tell, I'm extremely excited about all the changes that are taking place in the Lightburn 1.2 version, and I can't wait to dig into this more and see the other changes. Well, there you have some real quick tips on some of the changes that have taken place in the new Lightburn version 1.2, and I'm sure there's more. I'm going to be digging through this and taking a look to see what else I can find in this new version. But get out there, turn that computer on, look at the new Lightburn software, and download the latest version. I think you're going to really like it. So until next time, okay, I hope that all of you will take the time to look at the Lightburn and do some lasering in your shop and try out some of these new features. I can't wait. I'm going to be doing that later tonight and also tomorrow. So I'll see you soon.